Now, soon COVID will be behind us, you're thinking. Maybe it will be after Omicron, but there'll be fewer and fewer states with mandates or restrictions. And I know you can't wait for the old normal to be back. Cheap gas, affordable airfare, the freedom to move around without masks, without having to show your vax card. Boost if you feel like it, don't if you don't. We're all looking forward to the end of shaming and recriminations. But before you get all excited, let me tell you what the organized left has planned for you. First, an end to private vehicular travel. Listen carefully to Trudy Harrison, who works for British Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
That we can design a transport system that is fit for the future and free of fossil fuels, which moves us away from the 20th century thinking centred around private vehicle ownership and towards greater flexibility with personal choice.
Ah, the CCP would be so proud. Greater flexibility, she said, with personal choice. But whose choice is it exactly to go carless? Not mine, not yours. But decisions about how to restrict and track your personal travel are being made right now by global bureaucrats. The trendy climate change thinking in Europe is already here, and it's wrapped in a public health emergency. It's just another attempt to foist new rules on you without your consent. Now, their ultimate goal, limiting your ability to travel with convenience, when you want, where you want. This would mean an end to private car ownership as we've known it and loved it for decades. Think about it this way. It's the image of the middle-class American dream, though. A job to support your family, buying your own home, and your own car that liberal elites have hated for a long, long time. Now, you've heard of gun buybacks, right? Well, I wouldn't put they're doing a car buyback. Why not? Because they'd prefer we all run around on these, in Crocs, and maybe a sweaty hoodie. Then we can all live like the urban dwellers, who are happy to stay home during COVID, ordering in, growing herbs in little pots on their little balconies, playing Fortnite. Now, this government dependency mindset existed before COVID for sure, but now it's worse. And Team Biden and the Democrats are hoping to exploit this dependency that they've grown going into 2022 and later in 2024. Now, some of you may be thinking that I'm just too pessimistic here. We're never going to go the way of Europe. We're too strong and independent. But after watching our flaccid public response to some of these COVID controls, I have to tell you, I'm not that confident. Think about how many Americans are rushing out to buy electric cars because they think electricity will be cheap and even maybe free. Tens of thousands of charging stations across America. How awesome is that? Well, it's pretty awesome. Until you realize that Democrats plan to follow Europe and make electricity far more expensive here as well. Now, ideally, they'd like to restrict its supply. What's happening in Europe right now is terrifying. European Union Labor Commissioner Nicolas Schmit on Sunday warned that there are already millions of people in Europe not able to heat their homes sufficiently, and this number could rise further. And I have another question. What happens when the wind doesn't blow? Bloomberg notes that low speeds have reduced output, and then they cite years of lower investment in oil and gas? Well, whose fault is that? Europe is now finding itself unable to affordably heat their homes, all self-inflicted wounds. The Eurocrats just run things, and it's all twisted. The French transport minister actually bragged about eliminating travel options for travelers.
France got a lot of attention for banning short-haul flights in places where you could take the train 2.5 hours. Should this be strengthened?
We've developed quite a big network of high-speed trains. And when you have a competition between the rail, the high-speed rail, and the planes, the rail wins.
Now, why should this be a government decision? Because they don't like the free market? That's why. Now, beware any time a Democrat uses children to push an unpopular, unwise policy proposal. And just as with COVID, school closures were for the kids' safety, ditto for electric school buses.
Every day, more than 25 million children and thousands of drivers ride to and from school on diesel buses, breathing toxic fumes. Making the switch from diesel to electric is about improving the health and well-being of our children, of our future.
No applause there. Now, if that stupidity doesn't scare you, just remember who'll be in charge of the Biden-Harris EV plan.
National Climate Advisor. I'm Jennifer Granholm. I think I'm the good friend she's referring to. I am the Secretary of Energy, and this classy Class A truck is a Kenworth fuel cell vehicle that we are about to ride in. So, are you not excited? We have a deal, a bipartisan infrastructure framework deal.
We do, and it's awesome.
It is awesome.
It's big and it's beautiful.
And it's bold.
Now, I know what you're saying here. These are incredibly smart and talented people, and they're not alone. Now, who knew a former Rhodes Scholar could have such foresight?
The people who stand to benefit most from owning an EV are often rural residents who have the longest distances to drive. They burn the most gas.
And now, being from South Bend, Indiana, does he actually not realize that farmers often need to drive long distances for which a battery is not always practical? Or maybe the farmers should all travel on something a little more creative. Cool. Can you imagine Joe on that contraption, by the way? He's busy reading scripts that other people wrote for him, including a recent litany of things that you'll get if you buy an EV after the so-called Build Back Better passes, including a $4,500 tax credit if the vehicle is assembled domestically with union labor. Another obvious payoff to the unions, which one of the smartest innovators on the planet, Elon Musk, doesn't much like. He recommended that Biden kill the bill.
I would say, honestly, I would just can this whole bill. Don't pass it. That's my recommendation.
But the billionaires at the World Economic Forum in Davos believe that they do know best. And they spoke openly earlier this year about a wholesale transformation that is necessary among independent nations across the globe.
2021 will be the critical year to re-establish trust in our ability to shape our common future in collective and constructive ways.
The recovery cannot be a mere restart. The reconstruction must be a transformation.
Capitalism that works for everyone.
But a true resetting of capitalism requires smashing the United States, and also will mean that everyone's standard of living here will necessarily go down as prices for energy go up. That means wasting billions on things like building EV charging stations across 5 military installations every year. Now, aside from being completely in over his head, Biden openly revealed the goal. To fight climate change, he wants to get as many cars off the road as possible.
We will take literally millions of automobiles off the road, saving tens of millions of barrels of oil, dealing with cleaning up the air. This is not hyperbole, this is a fact. These are facts.
Well, there's another fact, Joe. Let me be clear. I like Teslas a lot. I love biking, like the bike lanes, but I also like traditional combustion engine vehicles and driving wherever I choose. The government has no right to tell us what to do on either front. Picking winners and losers, no way, because they declare another emergency? No thanks. The coming lockdowns may look a lot different, but the effect will be the same. You have less freedom and a lower standard of living, all because the government decrees it as such. We must never allow this to happen in our country, and Joe Manchin, he should hear from every concerned voter in West Virginia. Vote for this Build Back Better boondoggle, and your career in office is over. Politicians who are supporting this climate agenda must be beaten at the polls, and beaten badly. We don't want to be California with their rolling blackouts, huge crime spikes, economic losses, and shrinking population. We will not be locked down again, not by a COVID emergency and not by a climate emergency. And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.